Welcome everybody here to Bravo Plant-Based Channel and BravoPB.com. My name is Chef Bravo, and once again we are here spinning the wheel. This is our second dessert show.
Yay!
All right. We're making desserts because the holidays are coming up, and I'd like for all of you to have some plant-based options. So, sound good?
Yeah.
All right. So the way this works is we spin the wheel 3 times, and whatever 3 ingredients they land on, we must use those ingredients. So here we go.
All right.
Say it.
What, you want me to spin it?
No, I want you to say it. Say, spin the wheel.
Spin the wheel.
What we got?
You put it up
Of course.
there.
It's never just
Oh.
simple and clean.
Blackberries.
Blackberries.
Okay, yay, blackberries.
One last time. Spin that BravoPB wheel. There we go.
Dry cherries. Yay. Yummy, yummy, yummy.
Nothing but dark items.
Right.
I gotta start rigging this thing. So here we go. Prunes, blackberries, and I have some dried cherries here as well. Shoot, right off the bat, again, it's dark, dark, dark. Like the wheel just couldn't have picked a worse color combination here. We're gonna make it interesting. Bananas, lime leaves, basil. Okay, we'll use some dried cherries for the cherries here. And then if I layer that, and then I'm also, at this point now I'm thinking about what this is gonna look like on a plate. Or should I get a glass or something? Like a parfait. You know?
Yes.
I'm trying to think parfait. Here's what we're gonna do. We are going to make a parfait-ish kind of a thing. And the idea then now is to make sure there's enough color in there to bounce off of all these dark colors that were selected, as well as enough flavor to make it interesting. Okay. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to get my dried cherries here in with some black cherry juice. What I want to do is I want to make sure they get soft. All right, in my other pot, what I'd like to do is we're going to get some cashews in here with some bananas. So we'll have a banana layer here. And to this I'm going to add some soy milk. Now I'm going to infuse this with the lime leaf here. So it's going to be a banana lime kind of a thing. In order to make sure there's enough lime coming through, I'm also going to do a little bit of lime zest. No lime juice, just the lime zest. I'm thinking sort of a surprise, you know? You know the surprise that prunes sort of give you?
Yeah.
You know? So I want to sort of play on that a little bit and just be a little bit playful and stuff the prunes and then sort of hide it in there, just to say, hey, you know, surprise kind of thing. My problem is that the cherries, prunes, and blackberries are all very sweet, so I need to infuse some tartness in here somehow. So I got some grapes here. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some baked yam to this whole thing. So baked yam in. Luckily I have 2 towels today. I don't think we're going to heat this up. We're going to, oh, but I was trying to. here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take that lime leaf out, put this in here and make it sort of like a smoothie. Hush. And then I'm just gonna do a little bit, one of the small leaves. Otherwise this is gonna be like way too intense. What I'm doing here is, because my cashews were raw, I wanted to sort of put them in there, get them to start breaking up, okay? And now I'm just gonna leave this alone so that the smaller pieces of cashew can soak in with the soy milk so that they get softened up, because I wanna get this really nice and smooth, if that makes sense. Okay. All right. Cherries in with the baked yam here. Well, all right. Beautiful thing. So, you know, that's actually pleasant because the cherries were not as sweet as I was thinking. So they do have some sort of tart in there. I'd like to get a little vanilla in there. Just something to give me a little bit of flavor. Now that I have this layer, I'm also going to show you guys. No, this way. So you guys can see it. So I'm going to purposely leave it with the specks in there. Okay. So all these tiny little cut up cherries in there, they're gonna give me another sort of visual effect. Okay. So now I've just made this really nice and smooth, giving those cashews just a little bit of time to soak.
Does that lime leaf make it really tart?
Say again?
I mean,
the lime leaf?
The sour?
There's no sourness in there. You just get the flavor of the lime without the puckery effect at all. And as it turns out, you could use a little bit more. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get both leaves in there. And maybe just a little bit more cashews. I'd like it to be a little bit thicker, just a little bit.
Would another option to make it thicker possibly be chia seeds?
You could. Problem, excuse me, the problem with using chia seeds to make it thicker is that the chia seeds will start to show up.
Oh, and
So
that'd be
I'm
fine.
not looking for too many specks.
I
Because if I take one of these, each prune, and split it open, pick out a half a grape to stuff in there. So now I can lay this down, and now I can lay this down, and any sort of excess of prune, I'm gonna cut off. Again, half of a grape here. This one. Any excess prune, we'll trim off. Very good, okay. So now, I want to cover this completely. I'm slowly gonna pour some of that on top. There we go. I tap so that any air pockets that get trapped in there come up to the surface, so that when whoever eats this, they don't end up with holes in their food. Our next layer We'll go right on top of that. So with a dish like this, where it's nice and see-through, you know, you want to be able to see the layers, right? Okay. Part of the trick then is going to be to add the blackberries in a way that gives me that clean look. Lengthwise. I like that showing off the cord. And now, to try to bounce a dark blackberry off of this sort of dark pudding, not the easiest thing to do, so instead, I'll put a little bit more of this layer in. Just fine. A little bit of basil after all. So I'll take one leaf of basil and do a very fine, it's called a chiffonade. So a very, very, very thin slice. And what I'll do is I'll make sort of this little nest. Blackberry right over the top. And again, we're trying to make it look like interesting, trying to give people, whoever you're serving this to, sort of keep them guessing. Because like you said, you could just do the, you know, tried and true sweet potatoes with a little bit of cinnamon. You know, everybody's gonna recognize that. But if you're hosting party, a dinner, you know, or you're trying to impress a date or whatever the case might be, if you present something like this, you sort of got them guessing. They'll be like, oh, I never knew that the core of a blackberry was sort of nice and white. So,
beautiful. Yay, look at that.
okay. And so it's this sort of guessing game. As you dip in further, you're like, there's more layers in there. You're like, oh my God, what is that? And oh my God, what is that now? And oh my God, what is that now? I might even go, the one thing that is missing here is crunch. Yeah.
Did the prunes get in there?
Yeah, the prunes went in at the bottom.
They're hiding.
So since we do have a little bit of cashews in here, I might just add a little bit here. For one, to tell people, hey, this has nuts,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
which is sort of a big deal for some people, okay? And for two, again, just a little bit of crunch. So here we go, ta-da!
Yay!
We have our,
Excellent.
we had nothing but dark ingredients, and this is like hardly dark at all.
Right?
Did you see that? So now there's some lime in there, there's some basil, which you don't think of about when you're thinking desserts, and yet there's still all these, you know, sweet layers in there. I hope you enjoyed that. This was episode 9 of the BravoPB Wheel, our second dessert show. We'll continue to do dessert just because, again, we're coming up on holidays, and this actually forces me to spill out some creativity. So thank you so much. You guys were great.
Good job.
There you go. All right. And so check it out, Bravo Plant-Based channel. Please hit the subscribe button. Thank you. All right.